Stitch Mania. Welcome back to my channel, and I wanted to welcome you to a wrap-up of Stitch Mania 2018. I got a few vlogs off the first half of Mania, but due to some other circumstances, I just wasn't able to continue doing that. So I hope you'll forgive me, but I definitely kept stitching, and I definitely kept starting things, and I ended up taking it a little bit longer than what I had originally planned, and so I wanted to share what I got done with, over the past month with you guys. My first start was actually from last year, and that was Coffee Quaker Sampler, and I just wanted to share a quick before and after pic that I got done on this whip. It really reinvigorated me for that project, and I can't wait to finish it at this point. You know, I've got enough projects going now that I really do need to sort of institute some sort of rotation. I know that, and I think June will be the perfect time to start doing that and picking some whips for wine and whips that I really want to try to finish and try to work on, and knowing specific issues that those whips give me will help me out a lot. My next project that I worked on was a cute little Mill Hill kit, and it was a finish as well, so I'll show a little clip of what that turned out like. It was just really easy, and it really got a good Mania off to a good start, being able to finish something right off the bat. But I was really looking forward to finally starting something, you know, for Stitch Mania, and I think this is the piece that I made the most progress on out of all the starts that I did this month, which is the Time Traveler. So I'm going to show you, this is of course, you know, a brand new start, and where I got a good chunk out of the first page of her. You can see her dress, and yeah, she's turning out really good. I like her, even though I haven't touched her since then. My next start had a rocky beginning, and it, you know, but I have to admit that Long Dog Samplers is my favorite designer at this point. You know, things are always going to change, but I just overall I love stitching on all the ones I have so far. You know, I have Hoity Toity, which is zooming towards a finish, and I started Life After Death, which I like, of course, and this is my latest one called My Dear Jolene, which is from the complete or the cross stitch collection. But this has been really difficult. That navy blue fabric is just really hard to see on, but I don't know. I like it, but it's not one of my favorite ones. On the 9th, I actually had scheduled a project that I started last year, which was Stitcherovia's Awesome Cross Stitch, and I did end up UFOing it and giving it to my daughter, and I hope she's going to stitch on it, but so that kind of changed my plans. I just ended up working mostly on the Time Traveler for that one. But my next start after that, this is where things kind of started to change, because my mother-in-law has had some health challenges, and she is in the hospital. She ended up with a hip fracture, and she's got to have surgery on both hips, and she's had one right now. But that's where I started having, you know, we've been spending a lot of time at the hospital. So my starts, I was getting really frustrated because I was afraid that I wasn't going to get enough done on these projects to really consider it a start and make it worth doing anything. But you know, I was watching Priscilla and Chelsea and paying attention to how they were managing their Mania, and Priscilla was saying that she just spent that's what her Mania was. She spent a half an hour on her start, and that's it, and she wasn't worrying about that. And you know, I thought that was great advice, and so I still was able to stick to my start, just get something in, and not feel guilty about it. You know, I'm definitely in the camp that if you're going to buy something, if you're going to have it in your stash, you might as well start it. You might as well stitch on it when you feel like it. You shouldn't save it for anything. So that was my start on Sun Goddess by Mirabilia, and that really helped me out, like I said, during my second half of Mania, as I kind of had less and less time to work on it. Now, originally, on the 13th, I had planned to start a black work piece, and I had said that it was going to be part of Dark 13 stitching. And I started this Winnie's Music, and I'm going to make sure I put a picture of that in there too. But this is just my start on that. I don't think I ever showed this in a video, so I might put a better close-up shot of that. But as far as the dark, I love this. You know, it's really, really fun. But as far as the Dark 13 stitching, I think I could do better. So I'm still gonna look for a project. I have Here Lies My Needles by Shakespeare's Peddler, and I was thinking that I might step out to that and join the Sal on that one. I've been collecting some of the threads, and maybe I'll get started on that one sometime soon for Dark 13, because the black work piece is very nice, but that's just it. It's very nice. There's just nothing dark about it. So, alright. This was a piece from last year that I had intended to end my Mania with, but then I was sort of suffering from this idea, like, you know, because I had started my Mania off with something that I started last year, and I didn't want to end off my Mania with something that I started last year too. But I plugged ahead and got some work done on it, and that is my Heaven and Earth Designs mini John Lennon. I think he's great. I like John Lennon and the Beatles a lot, and it's on purple fabric, which makes it even better. And I got some good progress done. I'll show you in just a second. This was one of the first full coverage pieces that I started, and I really didn't know what I was doing that much, and it's making it more difficult because I'm trying to just stitch the foreground and not the background. But this is a page border up here, so I am filling in this page that's right in the middle of the piece. And there's some really, I'm doing some questionable things. I started in the middle and I'm just spreading out towards the outside, and I have these weird parking threads. Like, there was some that I couldn't even figure out why I parked them, besides that I must have just gotten sick of stitching that color and I just decided to park it, you know, and I wouldn't do that now, just leave a thread hanging off. So so John Lennon is kind of in recovery, but it wasn't a good whip for me to work on either while I was, you know, at the hospital or anything like that. And like I said, it was kind of bumming me out to try to finish off Mania with something I had already started. So I had a surprise start, and you know, I was only able to get everything I needed thanks to you guys, my subscribers, because I saw this piece being stitched at a retreat, and it was on the last retreat video, but I didn't know where to get it. And so I thank you guys for leaving comments and helping me find it. So this is The Four Elements by it says Cynthia Wasner. That's who and as I understand, this is from, well, it's put out, it says Norse Needlework, but it's available through Ink Circles, and it is a cross stitch of a tapestry that was designed by the wife of Carl Larson, and I saw it being stitched at a retreat, and I just kept looking at it and kept looking at it. And the fabric that I bought at the retreat, I bought it just for this project, and I was able to get the threads in and start this. On the 18th for 2018, my 2018 Mania start, that is going to be the 4 elements, and like, I just got a very small start going on it, but I got this blue fabric. This is actually, this is Whimsical Winter from Under the Sea Fabrics. I picked it up at my retreat, and I may have to change up one of the blues since I picked a blue fabric, but I think it's going to go really nice. It's got some grayish browns in there, but I haven't really worked on it that much, you know. Again, I tried to take the pressure off myself. I just wanted to get a start in and say I started something. And it's on 36 count linen, so it can be difficult to see. So I haven't stitched on that too much. But wait, I have one more start. This is all unplanned, you know. That's the problem. Is this Mania kind of, it started off great, and then I sort of slumped in the middle or towards the end, and I started seeing other people keep going on Instagram and keep chucking away with their Mania, and got some momentum back. And so in between the times, what happened was right after I started 4 elements, I kind of got burnt out, and I really wanted to get back to basics. And so I pulled out hoity-toity, and I worked like a mad woman on it. I mean, like, I had started this month stitching a lot, and yeah, I was just, and now I've been doing, I wanted to show you guys my progress that I made on that, because now I'm down to the top 3 pages, the top row of pages, and I'm really motivated to get this finished, and I'm trying to get it done this summer. I really want to get it done as soon as I can this summer. So I wanted to show you where I got on this just in a few days. I mean, today is the 28th, and so I've been working on this during odd hours over the past week, and I got this whole area done and stitched all the way through here, all the black area, and now all I have is this top row of pages up here, and yeah, it's going to be a finish this summer. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say that. But, so fast forwarding in my mind, like a maniac, like a stitch maniac, I was already thinking about, what am I going to stitch after I finish hoity-toity? So I found its replacement, of course, and why not start it? Why not? You know, and there have been some issues with hoity-toity because I started it on MCG Textiles fabric, and one way it's 14 count like it's supposed to be. It's 28 count fabric, so it's 14 squares across the width, but across the length, you know, it is only 12.5 count. So it put me off considerably, and made it much longer really than what it was, the original measurements were supposed to be. So I didn't want to repeat that, but I love the fact that it's on 28 count. I love, you know, I've seen Journey of a Stitcher do it, and I think she did it on 32 count. And then I saw Industrious Deb, I think, on Instagram. I think she did hers on 40 count. And, you know, I'm down here on 28 count, which is apparently going to be 12.5 count for some parts of it. But I love the way it translates in the Long Dog samplers. I think they're big and beautiful and bold, and I think that's the, you know, that's the way I interpret them. So I was excited to start another Long Dog sampler on 28 count to replace Hoity Toity when that day comes near, and it's going to this summer. And so, and I couldn't resist it, you know, the latest one, which is beautiful, and it's called Quilts. So I already had the fabric. I decided to use the DMC conversion on this one, and that's the one I'm going to be following up Hoity Toity with, and I decided to go ahead and start it, and I'm counting it as a Mania start because I started on May 20th. I couldn't help myself. And I've been making pretty good progress on that. So first I'll show you a pic of what that looks like. And I just liked it so much because, you know, Long Dog, Julia Line, I guess Line is her name. She's from England, but this sampler was based on a design of Pennsylvania Dutch samplers. That's what she said, you know. So I thought that would be funny. It's not funny, haha, but you know, interesting that this is an English designer who's doing like an American style inspired design, and but it's very modern, you know. It's really colorful, and a lot of jewel tones and golds, and yeah. So I'll show you my progress on that. And that one's doing pretty good. This border is just ridiculous. I haven't been able to find any sort of rhyme or reason in it, really. I mean, it makes sense, but there's no repetition that I've been able to detect so far. This is the first page, the borders of the first page, and it's gorgeous. I mean, it's a really pretty pattern, and so I'm taking it around, and it's a much better even weave by Zweigart, and yes, that's gonna be Hoity Toity after Hoity Toity is done. So that is all of my starts for Mania. I made it through the month of May. I'm gonna work like a madwoman on Hoity Toity so I can finish it this summer, and I don't know what else is gonna happen, but I would like to get Hoity Toity, just so you know, I would like to get Hoity Toity up on the speed stitching screen one more time before I finish up the project, so I can have some of the beginning, the middle, and the end of what I worked on in the future. So that is what's kind of happening, and in June, who knows, everyone's going to talk about wine and whips probably. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys back for another video in a few weeks. Bye.